You are listening to the Bleach Brothers podcast, hosted by Jake the Hater and B-Word.
Welcome to the Bleach Brothers podcast. This is B-Word, and for you fans that are listening to this episode, you are going to listen to it on time. However, Jake the Hater is late, and it seems like this is a pattern, and I'm getting kind of sick of it because he's late. So welcome, Jake the Hater.
I'm not late. I'm never late. I'm always on time, you ass cock. What's wrong with you?
I just figured I'd throw it out there because you can't figure out technology.
No, I was decorating for my little boy's birthday party tomorrow.
Oh, so you're admitting you were late?
Fuck you. Damn it. No, I have an issue. I don't know. My headphones, and me and you have talked about this. Every time I click the setting, it just decides I can't hear anybody, and then I just have to keep resetting until it works. So,
well, you know who was on time? We have a guest.
We do have a guest.
I'd like to introduce him. Aaron, welcome from the I Had To Say It podcast. Your name is not welcome, by the way. That was just welcome to our show. So, Aaron, welcome to the show. And can you tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about your podcast?
Hi, yes, thank you.
My name's a sexy voice. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. That was great.
Hey, ladies, how are you doing today? My name's Aaron, and I'm here to bring you all the fire truth that you need to get your day going just right.
Damn it, my chair is soaked.
So my name's Aaron, like you said. I am the host of I Had To Say It. It is, I don't know how to describe it. Every time I try and talk about it, I get caught up on it. It's like social commentary, me complaining and ranting and raving about all the stupid shit that a lot of people get sick of. And it's one of the most common things I hear is like, it's so nice to hear somebody actually say this. And it's like, well, if we all said it, maybe the dumb shit wouldn't happen. So that's the general premise.
I know how to describe it. I know how to describe your show. You know how everybody out there listening right now feels and thinks? That's exactly it. All the shit you're pissed off about when you're behind some asshole Prius driver and you want to yell at them. Yeah, that's exactly like everything in my brain right then is Aaron talking. I love your show, dude. It's awesome. Love the logo. I came across you due to Dads on Dayquil, our fellow friends. But no, you rant very well. You were enjoyable to listen to, so I'll tell you that right out the gate.
Well, thank you. I try.
So I too came across your podcast, and then we connected on social media thereafter. And I have to tell you, of all the podcasts I listen to, I listen to yours every single week. It's one of the, I think Jake had a great explanation as far as what the podcast is. It's the things that you think but might not say. And I loved your episode that came out this week where you said, share it with people who might not even listen because they might just need the hint. And I completely agree with that. So welcome to our show. So what do you do for a living?
I am a chef. I'm actually not currently in the restaurant portion of the business. One of the popular misconceptions is as soon as you say chef, everybody automatically assumes you're working in some restaurant. And there's a lot of the other venues and aspects to the job, whether you get the guys that are on TV, the people that work in corporate services, the people that run kitchens at colleges. I did that for a while. And now I'm working as a product tester and recipe development in the healthcare division because we're trying to change the concept of how healthcare food is perceived as just because it has to meet certain nutritional requirements or whatever. It doesn't mean it has to be shitty and bland and boring. So that's kind of what I do now is revamp recipes to make sure they qualify nutritionally and by consistency and texture, but still taste like something you'd actually want to eat. Because just because you're in a not so great position health-wise doesn't mean you should be fucking miserable and just sustaining.
Right. You made two good points there. I mean, because I'm a chef, but I work in the corporate side and the TV side. So I don't work in a restaurant either anymore. I left that side. And the other good point you made is I think people have this common misconception that healthy food doesn't taste good. And simple, healthy food can taste good. You don't just have to have box shit all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in the podcast world, Aaron?
Well, I have a lot of people in my life who for years have been like, dude, you're friggin' hilarious. I can't believe you said that shit. You should have a YouTube, because I'm old and that's how shit used to work. Is, dude, you should put that on YouTube. You'll go viral. And like, I used to work in banquets and catering for a while, and I would have, for people who don't know, the people that coordinate the server side of things are called captains. They're the ones in charge of making sure the wait staff does their jobs. There was a captain at the banquet facility I was working at that was constantly pulling his phone out of his pocket. And this was in the infancy of camera phones. So it was, blocky, looking like Mario, 8-bit bullshit pictures. And he's going, dude, do that again. It was funny. And I'm like, if that gets in the wrong person's mailbox, I'm fired. Put the phone away, forever. Fucker. So, and then at some point I just realized, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do tell funny stories and I do have my opinions. And, the pandemic came along and took my job away. So I was like, I got nothing else to do. Why not?
Yeah, but I feel like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then Joe Rogan signed a contract for $300 million. And I was like, that.
See, I was going to say, like, I know for us, we started it due to just conversations we were going to have anyways, and we were going to record and just talk. Also, I think it's a little bit of therapy. It's a therapeutic release. Like, because there's things I want. I mean, when I do Jake Takes and he does his B words of wisdom bullshit, we're letting stuff out that, you know what I mean? You want to think about, you want to say that you need to say. Because I feel that when I listen to your show, that it's a lot. Sometimes it's just like, here was my day. Here's how I feel about it. I don't give a fuck if you agree with me. I'm just going to put it out there and then I'm done. And it's like that great release when you yell at a wall.
It's a great
That's
vent.
Exactly what it is. It's a check valve. That's why if you go back and listen to the really early episodes when I was literally just sitting around the house all day and I was not interacting with anybody other than my wife, my kid, and my dog. And I know how to deal with my wife, my kid, and my dog. So there wasn't a lot of buildup there. So the early ones are there's like a little bit of an identity thing going on where it's like, well, he's talking about this today. He's talking about that today. It looks like he's trying to have a theme. And then, when I started getting kind of back into going out in the real world, that's where it really hit its stride in every single episode. So it's like, okay, here's who's fucking dumb this week. And it's like, I can't believe we're having this conversation again, but you motherfuckers, I swear to God, your family tree is a wreath because you have to be fucked up to be thinking the way you do. If you think this shit is healthy or good for you, your parents were cousins. And yeah.
I have never heard that before. That is so funny.
That's the cock ring of trees, bro. What kind of dog do you have? I want to know now. I need to know.
I have a dog that I'm pretty sure alcohol was involved in this dog coming to exist. She's the sweetest thing. She's smart as a whip, but she's half German Shepherd and half Corgi.
Oh,
so wow. That's fucking awesome.
So she looks like this little stumpy-legged, short German Shepherd. And she's got the German Shepherd hair, and it's super wiry, and there's fucking tumble hair all blowing around the house. Like, I got a Roomba that is like, fuck you, because it can't keep up. I mean, I hear this thing in the middle of the night because it's like finally recharged because it just got done with the living room after 4 fucking hours.
Yeah.
And it's just like, empty me. Like, no, you have a base that I got the one with the vacuum empty automatic thing, so I wouldn't have to do it every day. Oh no, that's full too. Oh. So,
and of course, it's full at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah, no, it can't be. It can't be at 6 o'clock on a Sunday.
Right.
But yeah, so but yeah, and she's a good girl. She's, like I said, she's very smart. She's actually too smart sometimes, but she's also old, so she's got that compounding where she's just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's my dog. I have a German Shepherd and I have a Golden Retriever. And it's always funny when, people tell you your dog's smart, then they do the dumbest shit ever.
Oh,
Like I'm at the vet with my German Shepherd and she's like, he's so smart and all that. And all of a sudden, the hole that for the trash can in the cabinet, his head's in that and he's trying to rip the cabinet off the wall because he's stuck like a moron. And the vet the whole time is going, you have a very smart dog. And I look over and I go, yeah, look at that retard right now.
Yep, he's real smart, all right.
Nope, his family was a wreath too.
Well, since I have a couple chefs on the show, I want to ask you each some questions, just to kind of get your feel for some controversial food stuff. I'll make it easy initially, and I'll do it one by one. So, Aaron, as our guest, I'm going to ask you the first question. So, when it comes to a pizza slice, is it polite to fold it? Like, is it proper to fold it? Or do you just eat it as is?
Depends. Are we talking about wedge slices or are we talking about the Chicago cut where it's cut in squares?
It's your interpretation.
He was not expecting that, Aaron. That's my favorite. Oh, no, people that can't see, I'm shaking my head as I'm pumping my fist because I'm thinking it depends on where the fucking pizza comes from.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, if you're out in New York, you're going to get a big fucking slice of pizza that's about, a quarter-inch thick. Yeah, you can fold it up like a taco. You're pretty much expected to. You come to Chicago, you're going to get a deep dish pizza. You're going to eat it with a knife and a fork. So yeah, good luck folding that son of a bitch. I mean, I'd be impressed if I saw somebody pick up a stuffed crust pizza like a Giordano's pie and fold that bitch in half. That's somebody I would not fuck with, because that's either somebody that is either constantly in the gym and they're having a cheat day, or it's somebody that is just jacking it constantly and have huge forearms, because otherwise you're not folding that fucker.
Oh, that's a dick out for Harambe pizza.
Oh, that one's good. All right, Jake, this one's for you. Okay. Assuming that fries are your condiment of choice ketchup is your condiment of choice when it comes to fries. Do you dip your fries in ketchup, or do you lather the ketchup on your fries?
No, you dip them like a normal human being. You know what was? I used to go to the bowling alley, right, as a kid. And I never understood. All my friends would always order French fries while we're bowling. So, you get greasy fingers, so it just makes it harder to bowl. But I had this one asshole friend who would take the ketchup, like the old school red squeeze bottle with the thin tip, and spray the whole fucking thing like nachos. And I just look at him like, dude, you're an ass. Like, I understand. I'm going to put ketchup on it. It's dumb though. So you dip them. I like the little paper cups. I like to dip a lot, and then move on with my day.
Fair enough. So, Aaron, this one's for you. Do you split apart the Oreo cookie, or do you bite into it?
Yes, I do, every single time. And I'm proud to say I can get that whole slice of cream off in one solid piece.
So you're like John Malkovich? He bit me. I put it in you. Fucking love that movie. Give the man his money. He fucking beat me.
That movie cost me so much money. I wound up going to a casino with a couple of my buddies one night right after we got done watching Rounders. Like, yeah, we can do this, and I'm like, about 6 hours and God knows how many free drinks later, I was like, fuck my rent.
Yeah, well, that's why they give you free drinks too, because then you get more confident, right?
Oh yeah,
that's it.
White man's
liquid
kryptonite.
Courage.
Yep.
I was in that sweet spot for about 2 hands.
I hate that sweet spot. All right. So, Jake, this one's for you. Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Why?
Pepsi all white. One, I'm just gonna be honest here in my field. I work with Coke, and fuck them. I hate working with Coke. They are an abysmal nightmare to do contracts with.
And we never wanted sponsorship with Coke.
Two, I don't know. I just grew up a Pepsi kid. I like Britney Spears. I like the Super Bowl halftime show. It tastes better. I've just always been a Pepsi guy. I mean, I've never really been a Coke person. I feel like that goes in that category too. Like we've talked about, B-word. It's a West Coast versus East Coast thing. A lot of West Coasters love Pepsi.
Yeah,
especially my wife's from New York. Yeah, she loves Coke.
Well, and you look at like the South. The South, everything's a Coke. It doesn't matter if it's a Dr. Pepper or Sprite or whatever. It's just a Coke. You want a Coke. And
See, and
over
if
here,
you would have said
everything's
Dr.
Pepsi.
Pepper, I would have went for that.
Well, I love Dr. Pepper, but yeah. All right. So next one.
That's the
so
best.
Aaron, when making a sandwich, do you cut it in half or do you cut it diagonally?
It depends on what kind of bread it's on. See, I'm gonna nitpick every answer every question you got. If it's on
love this.
if it's a wrap, I'm gonna cut it on a bias. If it's on a square piece of fucking Wonder Bread, I'm probably gonna kick myself in the nuts, and then I'm gonna cut it corner to corner so I can at least kind of dunk it in my coffee because I'm gonna assume it's like a breakfast sandwich if I'm using shitty white bread. So, yeah.
There's two reasons this list is controversial. One, because any chef looking at this is just going, is it a hoagie? Is it, like you just said, they're going to nitpick every, like, fuck you. Two, then you're sitting there going like, what asshole puts Lathers or fucking French fries with ketchup?
Somebody with a wreath.
somebody with a wreath. All right, Jake. Is it cannibalism for a woman to eat her placenta? And a follow-up question would be, what if she serves it to her friends?
Like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise eats placenta. You know that, right?
Oh, no, but
That's what he does every time his child, when his child was born. He made like a bald eagle freedom party soup out of it and fucking slurped it.
Ugh.
It's not cannibalism because it's your own body. It is cannibalism if you serve it to your friend. I'm going to stand on that ledge and die on it.
That's
because,
a really
dude, I don't know.
ledge, dude.
What type of people are eating themselves? Besides, you know, when you bite your fingernails, maybe, and that one guy gets that little extra skin, maybe he swallows that. I don't know. Or they're, you know, the weirdos like when I drive and I catch them at the stoplight eating their own boogers. I don't know. I mean, I don't consider any of that cannibalism. It's just
so. I have a follow-up question for both of you on that same topic. So what if it's foreskin? Like they're just frying foreskin. They're making like little calamari foreskin. Like, is that cannibalism?
Are you eating your own dick?
Yeah, I was just saying.
I mean, you only have one, right? So you know, if it's yours and you're eating it or you're serving it, I mean, that's fine.
It's not cannibalism if it's your dick. If you eat your own dick, it's not cannibalism. If you're serving, if I serve my dick, yeah. It's just going back in. You're just redistributing it back to your body somehow.
All right.
It's a redistribution of body parts.
So one more for each of you. So Aaron, this one's for you. Describe American food.
Oh, see, I'm overthinking it again. All right. Well, if you want to do like how other countries perceive American food, fat, sugar, fried. That's
sounds about right.
Everybody I know that is from another country is constantly shocked at how sweet everything is here, how much sugar we put in everything. You know, but we have so many even just staying domestic. There's so much diversity in the United States that you can't really strip it down to a simple little, this is Americana. This is, unless you want to go like, you know, cheeseburgers and fries. And even that's not traditionally speaking a strict American thing, but you know, I could go on this for 2 freaking hours. I'm sure nobody wants to hear me.
Fatty, sugary, greasy.
Yeah,
that works for me.
I got to follow up on this.
Okay.
It's pretentious new age. And I think Aaron's going to agree with this because anytime you go out to a fucking restaurant now, you'll see this. What kind of restaurant is it? Oh, it's a new American restaurant. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, you baked the salmon this time? Oh, you took an Ethiopian dish and you Americanized it by putting some Creole ingredients in it? Fuck you. Okay. So it's pretentious new age, or it's a corn dog. That's it. It's a corn dog. It's pretentious new age.
Hey, I'll have you know, I marketed a corn dog for $7 one time. And that was in 2000 money. That was when $7 for a corn dog was ridiculous.
And that would go on a new American menu, you asscock.
Yeah, no, it would. It would be how would you put it? A boudin en croûte en brochet.
Oh yeah, that's when it's like, oh, and we're gonna use a tomato reduction next to it, along with a yellow anglaise of mustard seeds. Yeah, I'm sure, dude. I can't wait to eat that fucking wiener in my mouth. That fucking condomized wiener needs to go in my mouth. The cornbread condom all over my wiener, dipped in that yellow mustard.
That's funny. All right, last question. Jake, this one's for you.
Okay.
Is there any reason? So this is a question with a follow-up question. Is there any reason why somebody should order a well-done steak? And then a follow-up to that is there any reason for putting ketchup or other sauces on it?
Oh, see, you answered part of my question with a fucking question. You order a well-done steak if you eat ketchup on your steak. 2, I will only give it to a generation. I believe it's a generational thing that I don't think people really look into. We've talked about this on the show, and I don't know if Aaron's read this book, but I highly recommend it. Food of a Younger Nation. And it's pretty much anthropology of food. And a lot of people would eat pork and beef well done due to being able to control and hold and how long you could have it with bacteria. I mean, because ketchup was also invented to mask the flavor of spoiling meat. That's the whole reason it exists. It used to actually be made with like tomato, fish sauce, a bunch of stuff until Heinz actually made it better. So for a certain generation, I would allow them to, or I say they should eat it well done because that's how they grew up eating it, because they had to do that to make sure that they cooked everything out of it.
So what generation would that be?
Probably Great Depression era, pre-World War II, and then before that.
Like my grandparents.
Right.
Okay.
That's why older folks do that.
What year did I ask this question?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. I wouldn't listen to that part. I was listening to ketchup and well done steak, and I just zoned out.
It's
this year is 2021. So is it appropriate for somebody to order a well done steak?
Well, if they're old
is a person from the Great Depression still alive? Yeah. So fuck you. Way to go. You know what happened here? You were trying to be all smart and like, oh, Jake, well, I asked you with a mask on because it's 2021. Yank me fucking harder, bro. There are old people still alive. I said old people. Old fucking Werther original dick suckers out there live. They are still alive. They could eat a steak like that, jack off.
So is it appropriate as the follow-up question? So
for them, yeah.
So even if they don't order it well done, what's your opinion on a condiment on a steak?
I'm somebody, I don't mind A1 sauce. I like A1s. I like actual pan sauces on a steak. But I mean, at home, when I'm just making like a basic, like for breakfast, when I have steak and eggs, yeah, I eat A1 on it. When I eat it for dinner, no. Fair
enough. Aaron, you have anything to add to that?
I like compound butter on my steaks.
Ah, there you go.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing is, to compound my compound butter, I'm also a lazy fucker, so I'll make it like a pound at a time and then freeze it, and then just cut little slices off every time I cook a steak. So I just throw it on there, and there you go. Easy peasy. I
do it in the parchment paper, roll it up like a Tootsie Roll, and then, yep, exactly.
Yep.
So being that we have two chefs on the podcast right now, I want you guys to kind of tell me, what are some ridiculous assumptions that people make in regard to chefs? So, Aaron, you brought it up earlier that if somebody is a chef, all this automatically people assume that they're in the kitchen, that they're the ones that are cooking everything up. So, aside from that one, Aaron, let's start with you. What's an assumption that people make for a chef that is just completely wrong?
Well, one of the assumptions people make for a chef that's completely wrong is that you're going to automatically be like the shittiest customer if you go to another restaurant. And that's really not the case. I mean, we might be a little more critical of like the waiter trying to blame everything on the kitchen, because a lot of the time you get a chef that you're, first off, they're not going to know you're a chef unless you do something stupid like I've been known to do. Like I went to, my wife and I were going out to dinner one time, and I came straight from work, and I had forgotten that we were going out to dinner. So I was wearing a like ratty ass t-shirt under my chef's coat, because that's what you do, because you don't wear good t-shirts under your chef's coat. And I forgot to bring a nice shirt to put on to go to the restaurant. So I had to meet her there, and I came walking in, and I was wearing that the job I was at, they insisted that I have a very fancy, like super embroidered and, colored piping on the jacket and all this. So I walk in looking like some asshole that's there to write a review of the restaurant or something, and I wasn't even thinking. So like in my little sleeve pockets, I've got a thermometer and a pen and all this other stuff. And I walk in and the waitress just, I see my wife and she's like, "Over here, dumbass," and I'm, "Oh, okay." And I go sit down. The waitress comes up to the table and starts freaking out, like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, I forgot to bring something to change into. I'm not going to give you any shit. I promise you, I'm a really good customer. I tip well. I'm nice.
I don't use Yelp.
Yeah. You're not going to get a 1-star review. I promise. You will get tipped. I'm not an asshole. Well, I am an asshole, but I'm not that much of an asshole. And, and then, so just to fuck with her, when she brought the first course out, I did stick my thermometer in it. Like, she's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, I'm kidding. Calm down. And,
See, like,
yeah.
I would say that, yeah, like we're more critical in the front of house. Wouldn't you agree? Like, that's why I was going to point out, like, do you feel like you're more critical in front of house than back house when you go out?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Like, if something's really prepared just fucking wrong, I'll be like, "Okay, this must be the guy's first day. Go tell him to do it right." But on the other hand, I can tell the difference between something that was cooked wrong and something that's been sitting in a pass-through for fucking 15, 20 minutes. So you're not going to come up to me and tell me like, "Oh yeah, no, sorry, they're why your food is all dried out and nasty." How long was it in the window, darling? What? No. Oh. Okay. Yeah. No. Thank you. I'd like a cup of au jus to go on my well done steak. This is.
All right, Jake. So what is a common thing for you as far as being a chef? So somebody finds out you're a chef, and what?
They asked me a question about food in 2021 and don't think old people are still fucking alive. Oh, wait, sorry. Full circle like a wreath. I think it's that we always eat amazing food all the time. Like, I don't enjoy, like, I don't know. I'm going to ask this to Aaron too, and I'll ask you, B-Word. I mean, I want to, like, there are certain shitty things that I like as like a treat like every now and then, like Hamburger Helper is one of those things I'll have like once every 2 months, just because, and it's horrible for you. It's not the greatest thing, but when you grow up with certain things and there's that palate, like mom's cooking, like my mama, when she comes, she makes porcupine balls. Fucking love it. It's the most simple dish on the planet, but I love eating it.
It's
So yeah, food. You don't have to eat 5-star all the time and like the best food. Like you were talking earlier today, B-Word, you were in the Taco Bell drive-thru. I like me some Taco Bell every now and then. It's not bad.
Every now and then, yeah.
I was actually just having that conversation with my wife about 2 hours ago. We were both sitting here like, we need to go to the grocery store. There's nothing in the house. You know what I want? I want fucking nachos. And but I've been trying to lose some weight, so I was sitting there arguing with myself, like, do I want to drive to Taco Bell? Well, it's 9:00. Is Taco Bell still open? Of course, Taco Bell's still open at 9:00. What the fuck's wrong with me? So, like, and I talked myself out of it. I was like, no, be strong, Aaron. Be strong. Drink another glass of water. You'll be fine. So I didn't get my nachos. But yeah, every once in a while, that's you gotta go for the awful stuff. Or one of my personal things is back in my hometown, there's a drive-in restaurant, like 50s style, old school. This place has been there since I was a kid. There's not a single thing you can order in that place that is remotely close to healthy. And, like, if there's certain things you just don't order unless you're from out of town and you're like, "Oh, how quaint. Look, they have this." And it's like, no, you're not a local. I mean, certain things, like you order the steak sandwich here, you can still see where the jockey was hitting the fucking thing. So, but on the other side of that, you can get a 3/4 pound burger with bacon on it, and it's slathered in cheese and grease and bacon, and it's on a nice brioche that's been pressed on the fucking grill. So that soaks up all the extra grease off the grill. And it's like, $4.99, and then, all the money you save on the food, you spend on the coronary later.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not the world's biggest fan of fast food, to be honest with you. But if I have to choose fast food, it's normally Taco Bell. And tonight, I mean, I just came back from Las Vegas this weekend, so the house doesn't have a whole lot of groceries in there. So similar to you, Aaron, but yeah, Taco Bell's kind of where it's at. And then immediately the next day I regret it. So it's not, I don't know what it is in Taco Bell that says, hey, in the next 12 to 24 hours, you're going to shit your pants. But they're consistent on that. So that's pretty good.
So your body is healthier than mine on the inside, I think, because it's like 20 minutes later, I'm already like out for the count on that, on the toilet.
Oh, really?
And I only use the mild sauce, so it's not because I'm burning my butthole out either. It's just like instantly like, yep, that meal is gone. That is shot through me like a freight train.
So I think it's their beans. It's something
just
about that reconstituted bean. I don't know.
It's the meat. No, it's the meat that comes in a caulking gun. I remember when I told people that, how freaked out they were. Because it does. They used to shoot out of a caulking gun. So, I mean, you're getting cock meat shot all over a fucking tortilla. What do you fucking expect? Just like that? And what did I say? Cornbread condomized wieners? Yeah, just fucking great American cuisine right there. Yep. I don't know. That brings me another point I'm going to make. The one thing I fucking hate is when you go to like a party and everybody presumes you want to be in their kitchen or you want to do the cooking or, oh man, don't you want to talk to me about this? Like I went to this one party one time and this girl's like over there and I'm there to relax and just have a good time. There's so many people and she wants to show me her kitchen and then talk to me about the food she's making and then get my opinion. And sometimes like, I don't fucking care. I just want to eat. I just want to sit here. I want to enjoy a drink. I want to shut up. I want to watch the fucking football game. I don't care that you made your own queso tonight out of your grandma's great fucking recipe and your secret is pickle juice. Good for fucking you. I want a break for a minute. Do you go to the Kinko's guy and ask him to make you a copy as soon as he shows up to your house too? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's one of those things a lot of people in my family and social circles have learned. Like, well, Aaron's here. Don't ask him. And it's like I had one of my cousins when she was dating this guy. I think they got married eventually. They're still married, I think. I don't know. I don't keep tabs on that stuff, but he comes up. Hey, chef, I want to run a couple things by you, and it was like Thanksgiving or some shit. And I was like, hey, great, I'm glad you're here. Here's my fucking W-2s. Go take care of my taxes for me, cocksucker. But I'm not asking you for financial advice. Don't ask me to fucking fix your dinner. If it's shitty, I'm gonna roast you. Get that idea in your head.
I got a question for both of you then. So, and this can pertain to any work typically, but we can put it in the chef's realm. Is it worse to have somebody like, if you go, like we just said, you go over there and they want to pick your brain all the fucking time? Or is it worse when you have like that family member or friend or whatever that comes in and tries to know more than you and like almost prove you wrong? Like, oh, I know how to cook bacon better. You should do it this way. And you're just looking at me like, who's the fucking chef? Just leave me alone. This is how I cook. There's multiple ways to cook bacon. Which one's worse to you guys?
I hate people like staring over my shoulder and telling me what to do.
Yeah,
that just bothers me. Like you have nothing better to do than sit here and bitch.
I hate the know-it-all because I have had to deal with that a couple of times. But like I said, the people I'm around on a regular basis, my family, my extended family, my in-laws, all that. The aspect of my podcast where there's just kind of this prick blowing his steam all over the place. Yeah, that's not like a just for the show kind of thing. That's just me. And they learned pretty early on where it's like, okay, that vein's starting to pop out of his forehead. Let's leave him alone now because he's going to say some really ignorant shit and he's not going to apologize because he doesn't feel bad. And so they've kind of learned to like, nope. And then that's also, I've found out that some of my family members, that's also apparently initiation because like, I have three female cousins who they grew up 2 houses down the street from me, so they're more like my sisters than my cousins, really.
Okay.
Right.
And every time one of them started dating somebody new, it was like by the time I was in my late teens, it kind of became a rite of passage. Like, oh yeah, hey, look, you got to go meet my cousin now, and it was kind of like there was like a 60-40 chance somebody was going to leave the conversation crying, and it wasn't going to be me. So, oh hey, yeah, I heard you want to be a chef. I like to do this, that, and the other. I don't fucking care. I heard you're trying to throw it at my cousin. So what? You want me to have you prove that you can fuck too? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, and by the way, if you make her cry, I'm gonna make you cry. So keep that in the back of your mind, there, Skippy. And,
there's sometimes nothing better than when you get introduced to like that, like family member or whatever, or, you know, friend, or and they bring like their nephew or their kid or whatever, you know, and they're like 16, like he wants to be a chef, and you're like, let me fucking tell you why you don't want to be a chef. Let me guess, you like to cook grilled cheese for your mom. You like to make things that because you want to be creative and put 31 flavors in something like Baskin Robbins. You fuck yeah. Guess what you're gonna do? You're just gonna flip the same burger 90 times tonight, and I'm gonna yell at you about 3 of them because you fucked them up. That's being a chef. Oh, you want to be creative? How much did it cost you to put it on the plate? The owner goes, Jake, why are you buying that? Oh, well, because it tastes good. Yeah, fuck you. We're not buying lamb anymore. Serve them the fucking burger.
Yep. Hey, you see that big ass bag of onions over there? Go cut them. Well, how many? All of them.
What do I do when I'm done? Oh, there's another bag behind that bag.
No, don't worry. When you're done, we'll talk.
What's the worst? What's the worst experience you had? It's like, you know, when you were coming up in the game, you had that shit job, but like it just went really bad for you. Do you have one of those types of stories?
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
I know you got plenty, but tell me one.
Actually, the worst thing in terms of something bad happening to me is I almost got gutted in a kitchen one time. It was brutal because I was working. Actually, when I moved down to Illinois to go to culinary school, and I was working at the culinary school, I got a job working. They had their own catering business there, and I got hired in there, and I was basically a TA working with all the students in there. Because by the time I was at that point in my life, I had already been the head chef at a restaurant. 2 of my employees were also classmates of mine. I used to catch shit from my instructors because my classmates were referring to me as chef during school, and they hated that. They're like, he's not a chef, goddammit, he's a student. And they're like, he's my boss. And I'm like, you guys are not helping my education here. Shut the fuck up. Call me Aaron. No more chef. No more chef. Aaron. And like, well, what about when we're at work? I said, when we're at work, you only call me chef when you're in trouble, okay? Fuck. And so we had this one little girl that was a complete spaz and really had no business being in the culinary program. And the general consensus was they were going to drive her out of the program, but she was stubborn as shit too. And I think she might have been on meth. That's just based on, you know, behavior and twitchiness and all this other shit. And I was walking by, I had a hotel pan full of food in my hands, and I'm walking by, and I'm, you know, behind, don't fucking turn around. I say behind, and she's like at a prep table chopping up lettuce for the salad bar, has a French knife in her hand and spins around and goes, what? And literally slashed open the front of my apron and my jacket. And I dropped the pan and I caught her wrist and I started like freaking out. Not like everybody else was freaked out because I was like very calm externally because I wasn't yelling or screaming. I was just sitting there holding on to her wrist, and she's going, you're hurting me, and you're hurting me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but drop the fucking knife. I can't let go. I cannot let go. My arm will not let your hand go. Drop the fucking knife. Yeah. And so she drops the knife on the floor, and she's like, if that tip broke, I'm going to be so pissed. I'm like, if you don't get the living fuck away from me right now. And she goes and tells my boss that I grabbed her arm and I hurt her wrist. And he comes over, what did you do? You can't be putting your hands on a student. And I took my arm and I put it in my jacket like Napoleon style. And then I shoved it out through the hole like the alien and the chest burster. Like, you want to know why I grabbed her fucking wrist? And he's like, what happened? I'm like, I think she got my t-shirt too. And he's, oh my God, are you cut? Are you bleeding? No, I'm fine. But I think I might have shit myself. So
you turn to her and go, can you cut another hole?
Yeah, and so that was probably one of the shittiest because I almost lost my temper. I almost hurt a student because of losing my temper, and I almost got gutted. So I was like, this is a trifecta of being fucked up. The only good thing I could say about it is I didn't get in trouble because my boss was so impressed that I didn't pull her arm out of the socket. He was just like, well, she might have a bruise on her wrist, but I think I can understand what happened here. I was like, thank you. Yeah, I spent like the next 4 days waiting to get a call from HR. I'm sorry.
It's funny how the people say the world's small because I think people always have like very similar stories. We had a girl when I was going through culinary school that they were trying to get rid of too. And the reason was the first day, you know, when you get your knife kit and you open it up, she went to pull the sheath off and cut her hand so bad she couldn't close her fist. So that didn't make her leave. So she comes back and, you know, you're learning how to flambe. And she, you know the rule. If you start to get a Molotov cocktail, you're supposed to drop the bottle in the pan and walk away. Drop and walk. Instead, she sees the flame coming up and goes, oh shit, and waits till it gets to the bottle and then chucked it across the kitchen. And the whole kitchen starts lighting up fire. And I just never forget my chef at the time just watched her and goes, yep, you're gone. That's it. We're done with you. And she was it. I think my worst experience though for me was when I was being, you know, you have those stupid moments. And it sort of reminds me of like when you were talking about the onions thing. So I go into a restaurant and I just started. I've been there a week. And of course, I'm getting the shit jobs, right? So they go, hey, Jake, we need you to dice all this stuff and all that. So they give me 80 pounds of jalapenos.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. And, you know, you slice them in half, you take the spoon, you scoop out and do that. Well, in culinary school, you know, you would only chop certain peppers, just a small amount for your dish and your team or whatever. So all of a sudden, I'm about, 20 pounds in. The chef always goes, you don't want gloves? I'm like, I've never worn gloves when I'm doing this. Like a fucking idiot. I cut all 80 pounds and I get home and all of a sudden my hands are just on fucking fire, like fire ants in them. And it's everywhere. It's all over because the oil seeped in my skin. I was up till 6 a.m. trying to figure out how to get this burning to stop. I'm like soaking my hands in milk. I'm putting Vaseline on them. I looked like a fucking mess. Just this single guy sitting there in front of my TV like, I'm going to cry. I don't know what to do. Always wore gloves. And I showed up the next day and my hands just look like shit. The chef just looks at me and goes, yeah, you don't like gloves, huh, you little fuck?
All right. I was actually a similar thing, except for I was on the other side of it, and it was only like 10 pounds, so it wasn't terrible. But I had this smart-ass prep cook kid that was, he was like the owner of the restaurant's godson, so he thought his shit didn't stink, and he didn't have to listen to anybody, and he was a prick. And he was like, you can't fire me. I was like, no, but I can damn sure make you want to quit. And so I made him my bitch. Like literally, I'd be like, you know what? We're almost out of pico. I want you to make me, 75 pounds of pico, and I need that by like 45 minutes from now. Get cracking, kid. And so he starts chopping up all the jalapenos, and it was like 10 pounds of jalapenos, and I'm like, you sure you don't want to put gloves on there?
Yep.
Like, man, I'm not a fucking pussy. All right. I'm not going to argue with you. No problem. And so he's seeding the jalapenos and chopping them up, and all of a sudden starts walking away from the table and says, what are you doing? So, I got to go hit the head.
Oh, shit.
All right, dude.
Yep.
You're not going to, I said, not going to wash your hands first? He's like, man, I'm going to wash my hands. Then he goes over and he just kind of like ran him under the water real quick and just kind of light rinse. And I'm like, that's not gonna. And so he goes into the employee bathroom, was like right around the corner from the kitchen. So I just kind of walked over there. I'm standing there, and one of the waiters comes over. He's like, "What are you doing, chef?" I'm like, "Wait." Yeah. He's done. So his kid comes walking. Like, I gotta go home. I'm like, why? You gonna ask your mom to blow on it and make it better? What the fuck do you think's gonna happen when you go home? Well, what do I do? What do I do? Now you want to listen to me? Like, here's a glass of milk. I'm not thirsty. I said, you're not supposed to drink it.
Yeah. Mint shampoo cures that, right? B word.
Oh, are we telling that story?
I mean, we can. I want to. Yeah, you need to tell some kind of story in this shit show.
So, okay. So I'm not a chef, so I'm going to contribute to the conversation here. So Jake has this fascination with mint shampoo that I wasn't aware of. With a similar thing. So you think of mint shampoo, right? When you're washing yourself, you feel refreshed, right? So you get that nice, cool feeling, Yeah, Jake seems to like that more as a lubricant for his shower experience. And I didn't understand what was going on until I was outside of his bathroom in like a little sitting room that they had. And all of a sudden I hear this, oh!
It's not what I sound like when I come. It's more like, oh, because my balls dropped it.
That's good because I'm more like Flipper.
And dude, the best part is you probably lay on your back like that too with your arms out.
I do.
You look like a fucking beach dolphin, just flopping and squirting. Just I wish people could see this fucking video because the problem is I'm actually acting it out like a jackass.
I look like Danny DeVito playing the penguin, except for not on his belly. I'm on my back.
Mint shampoo feels good, dude.
Shit.
I like cold hands. I don't care. I got a strong dick. I do. It's like the Iron Man of penises. There's just a shell around. It's a Hulkbuster, bro. It just can't be fucking hurt.
Penis.
Hulkbuster dick, bro.
Oh, well, speaking of, the jalapenos and having to go pee, I typically, I'm good with spice, but I don't like it where it burns everything. And so when Buffalo Wild Wings was doing that Blazing Challenge, I don't even know if they're still doing it or whatever. I went over there with a few friends, and one of my friends was doing the Blazing Challenge. And what I didn't know is he threw one of the Blazing Wings onto my plate. And so I'm eating my wings, my honey barbecue wings at the time. And I go to this wing and I pick it up and I'm eating it. And I'm like, holy shit, this is some hot barbecue sauce. What the fuck is going on here? Can't feel my tongue. And so everybody's laughing at me because everybody saw him do it but me. And so I'm like, fuck this. And so I go to the bathroom real quick because I had to pee. And I didn't rinse my hands. And so I go and I shook it twice. So that way, I wasn't masturbating or anything. And we're getting ready to go. And I'm in the back seat of this car. And I'm like, you guys, I have to go to the hospital. My dick is burning. You guys, I have to go. Like, it's got to happen. And here's the worst part is I had hooked up with a girl like 2 or 3 days before. And I thought that these things coincided with each other. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go. Like, my dick's going to fall off. This is terrible. It was terrible shit, man.
That bitch
Absolutely
gave me
terrible.
dirty dick.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo Wild Wings has a weird problem with their bathrooms. So, like, I have a weird story about the bathroom where I was in another dude's stall. And just hear me out here, B-word, before you get... So how man rules, right? Everybody knows man etiquette. Like, if there's 3 stalls, you go to one and somebody's got your dick hangs low. It doesn't matter if you're a midget. It all points down. Yeah, you might get a little more dribble on your shoes. You're going to get dribble down there anyways because no guys know how to pee in a fucking hole. But they got the TV screen. So one time I go into a B-dubs and it was one of the ones where they only have 2 urinals. And I'm drunk. And I'm sitting there. And the game on in front of me is soccer that I don't fucking care about. But the game I want to watch is in the other urinal. Well, I didn't realize there was another guy there because also another fucking rule, you don't look over.
Right.
So I'm peeing but leaning and I'm in this guy's stall and all of a sudden I feel breathing on my neck and I'm like, what kind of weirdo is breathing on my neck while I'm pissing? Well, so I look over, he goes, excuse me. I was like, excuse me? He goes, what are you doing? I was like, the fucking game's on. And then he looks up and he goes, oh shit, my team's about to score. So now me and this dude are both peeing in unison watching the Eagles lose. And another guy walks in and goes, I don't want to go to this bathroom, and just walked out. That B-dubs knows that I did this And whenever I go in there, the joke is when I walk to the bathroom, hey, Jake, try not to put your head where another dude's dick is. No matter who, whether it's a waiter or anybody. So I can't pee there. I can't.
You know,
or I
it
just
doesn't-
gotta.
It doesn't have to be Buffalo Wild Wings for your head to be where some dude's dick is. I'm just
That's
going to put it
true.
out there.
That's true.
Yeah. So, Aaron, we were talking in the green room that you actually have or had some musical talent before.
I don't know about talent, but I was determined to not quit.
So you had played a few instruments, am I right?
Yes, you are, sir. I come from a family. My hometown's very music oriented, and it was kind of one of those weird things. Like it was people being in the band was like the norm. Like when I was a kid, I didn't understand a lot of these moves. They're like, "Oh, that's a band geek," and I'd be like, "Isn't everybody in a fucking band?" I thought that was what I thought you got made fun of for not being able to play something.
Right.
So, I mean, so I started out, I played the trumpet from the time I was like 10 until I was like 23. Junior high, picked up some guitar, then learned how to play harmonica because I thought blues harmonica was the shit. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to learn how to do that. So I can play the harmonica pretty well. I can play the trumpet very well, or at least I used to could. I haven't played in a few years, so, well, more than a few now because I'm fucking old and I keep forgetting that fact. I mean, I swear to God, I was like 19 6 months ago. I don't know what the fuck happened.
It was 6.5, but yeah.
Something like that.
Penis size. That's penis size. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong.
Your head.
6.5.
Move it
6.5.
away. My head.
Yeah.
So trumpet, harmonica, and guitar, a little bit of each.
Trumpet, harmonica, guitar, a little bit of drums, a little bit of keyboards. Did some DJing for a while.
Were you ever in an actual band?
Yes, I was in a couple actually. Did a ska punk band and a like blues kind of not. I don't like. I hate the term jam band because it's like, yes, it fits, but at the same time, I get like images of fish and unwashed fucking Trustafarians.
Fucking
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, but it was more like a blues band kind of setup where we'd all just get together and just kind of fuck around and just have fun and
Okay.
never
I played trumpet from 6th grade all the way up to my senior year. I know that in a previous episode we actually included some of Jake's music when he was in a ska core band that was Taxi Cab 14 down in Las Vegas. And so what years were you performing in a band?
like 98, 99.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Back in the day. And,
well, I know that you are aware of this segment, but we want to include you in this. So Jake actually came up with the idea of the everlasting jukebox. And when we invited you to come onto the show, you were listening to that particular episode and liked it. So we decided that we kind of wanted to do a specific specific era, I suppose, of albums to add to it. So Jake, you want to go through that real quick?
Yeah, so for this one, we're going to do 5 albums each of your top albums when you were in high school. So like, what were you listening to, when you were driving and, you or whatever, I don't know how you went to school, you went on a bus, whatever, but the stuff you would listen to in those years, those tiny, weird formative years of your top ones that you would pick. So, I mean, we'll start with you, Aaron. What 5 albums are you putting in the Everlasting Jukebox?
All right, 5 albums I'm going to put in Everlasting Jukebox because I literally played the shit out of them when I was in high school. And it's kind of telling if you look at it. Let's see, we have 9 Inch Nails, Downward Spiral. Great
fucking album.
Yep. Great album.
Then there was, Korn, Self-Titled.
That one was a good one too.
That one was I wore the hell out of it. I actually had that on cassette and wore the tape out. Let's see. Then we had Pennywise, also self-titled.
Oh, man.
Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill. And Stevie Ray Vaughan, The Sky is Crying. It's one of my all-time favorite CDs. So,
And so that, man, I wish that was my high school years, because all 5 of those albums are killer.
Yeah, you sound like
And-
X1075.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and I remember listening to all of those bands. However, there's a few year age gap between us, and yeah, but man, I think I wore out that Cypress Hill cassette, to be honest with you. That one was awesome.
yeah, actually, I had to unspool that one because the tape got twisted up inside the cassette. So I had to take it out and unroll it, like twist it around, and I missed it in a couple of spots. So there were some spots where it sounded like it was backward masked because the tape was flipped over inside the cassette. It was fucked up, but it was kind of cool actually. But I was also so high, I don't think I really noticed at the time.
Aaron, did you have longer hair back then?
Yes, I did.
I knew it. I could tell now after listening to those bands. I was like, I know exactly like how he was dressing, how he looked. That's awesome, dude. No, I like the 9 Inch Nails. I've said before, that is a timeless band, in my opinion, for our generations, is that you could put it on now and it sounds like it would come out today. You could put it on then and it sounds like it came out then. And that's one thing I enjoy about it. I think that out of all those, that would be my top pick out of yours. But that's a good list, buddy.
Thank you.
B-word, who you got?
So for mine, I struggled with this one, to be honest with you, because I listened to a lot of music in high school. But again, on our last episode, I talked about it had to have been an album that I had played over and over and over, and I can listen to all of the songs. So number 1, and again, in no particular order, Big Boy and Dre present Outkast, 2001. Loved that one. That one actually was it was newer on the scene when they first came out. Miss Jackson, Bombs Over Baghdad, So Fresh, So Clean. Those were really good songs. I think I wore that one out. That one was on compact disc. However, I never really bought CDs. I more or less would record them when somebody else bought them. So I would record them on cassette, and same thing. My tapes would wear out. So Outkast, definitely Big Boy and Dre present Outkast. Godsmack, self-titled, came out in 98. Bad Religion, whatever, Voodoo, great songs. Like you, Aaron, I also played instruments. I played trumpet, I played baritone, played a little bit of tuba. I could play a little bit of keyboards. I was never really coordinated enough to play drums, but I remember being able to play Voodoo on the keyboards pretty good. So that was an awesome one. The third one, Stained, Break the Cycle, 2001. Love the songs Outside, It's Been a While, and For You. I think For You was actually the one on the album that I wore out. Just crazy. And I love Aaron Lewis anyway, so that one fits actually pretty good. The fourth one, Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP. That one was awesome. Stand, The Way I Am, The Real Slim Shady. Pretty much every single song on the album I could listen to, but that one was over and over and over. And the final one, this one's going to be kind of like the Nickelback of the era. It was Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory. 2000, Crawling One Step Closer, and in the end, I love that album. That album has aged very, very, very well. So those are my 5. What do you got, Jake?
The Nickelback of that genre. What the
they
fuck
were, man.
No, they're not.
People didn't like Linkin Park then. It was
everybody did. Everybody did.
Well, everybody likes Nickelback too. Everybody likes Nickelback too. They're just not willing to. I know, but nobody will admit it.
Everybody admitted they like Linkin Park. That is a stupid theory.
We're gonna do a Nickelback episode where it's the appreciation of Nickelback. It's gonna be like the evolution of Creed, Nickelback, and then Linkin Park.
So, I like Nickelback. I just hate Chad Kroeger. So
I remember when I met Linkin Park to their face, and I told them they suck, but I didn't know it was them in Arizona. I was at a concert in Phoenix. This is a true story. So me, Fobbs, and the Travesty were down in Arizona, and we're eating at a Denny's. And we were just going to this concert, and they got off a button. They were eating next to us, and they could tell we just left a concert. We're all talking about it. And the one Chad and I don't know who else, fucking behemoth, they come over and like, "Hey, were you guys at that show?" We're like, "Yeah." And they're talking, and they didn't play that one, but they're like, "Oh, have you heard of this band Linkin Park?" And I'll never forget. Fobbs goes, "No, but they probably fucking suck." And I go, "Yeah, that band sounds like shit." And then they leave. And then a couple of months later, Hybrid Theory comes out. I look at it, I go, I met those guys. Oh, I told them they suck. All right.
I got back on the bus like, fuck those kids.
Exactly.
We were going to pay for their meal too.
All these are going to come from, like I said, high school years, but mainly like near the end of my high school years. So first one is AFI, The Art of Drowning. Great artwork. Love that album. I could play that back and forth nonstop. Second one was Eminem, The Eminem Show. Now, I know on the last show that we did this where I said the Marshall Mathers LPs made my top 10. So I did two things. I did not put any albums that I put in the top 10. Because also in high school, I listened more to the Eminem Show than the Marshall Mathers LP. And I think it's because the hits were coming out then from that album. Number 3 is Atreyu, Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses. Probably one of my favorite bands of all time and albums of all time. I have the lyrics tattooed on my back from Lip Gloss and Black, my favorite song on that album. Next is Good Charlotte's Self-Titled. Don't care, like that pop punk shit. I understand Young and Hopeless came out, but that's when they were even a little more commercial than they were, even though they are commercialized. But and that's a good album too, but I liked the self-titled more. And the last one's going to be Silverstein, When Broken is Easily Fixed. I think it came out after, but it was in 2003. So it might have been like right as I was graduating. But could listen to that album nonstop. And I have one honorable mention, and it's Avril Lavigne.
Jesus Christ.
Let Go. You know what? Fuck you. I knew you were going to do this. It's Avril Lavigne, Let Go. She's a great songwriter. She's cute. I love that album.
You planted that one just so I'd have a reaction. You
remember my graduation party? Remember that my mom's friend's kid performed Skater Boy for me?
No.
You must have left right before that. After you gave me a bottle of mint shampoo. That's my present. I remember I had so many people at my party. I remember we all, Aaron, we grew up in a small town. And it was one of those things like we all knew everybody in the town, but there were certain groups. So it was like friends would show up to a party and then go, oh, I got to go to the next graduation party. And we'd all just sort of hop around. But yeah, somebody performed Skater Boy for me that night. And it was awesome.
That's cool.
I have zero response. Zero response.
She's the Nickelback of female singers.
She's not even the Nickelback of female singers.
What is she then?
She's the Milli Vanilli of female singers.
Oh, that's not fair.
That's right. You get it, Aaron. Fuck you, dude. That's bad. That is Milli Vanilli.
That is Milli Vanilli.
Oh,
all right. So just to recap, Aaron, you had 9 Inch Nails, Downward Spiral, Korn self-titled, Pennywise self-titled, Cypress Hill self-titled, and then Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Actually, I was gonna say, I think I want to change it. I think I want to change the Cypress Hill one to Black Sunday. I listened to the Black Sunday a little more than I did self-titled.
Okay.
So
okay. That's a good one too, actually.
I was thinking about it, and I'm like, now that I think about it, I mean, the original was a classic, but Black Sunday was the one I like. That was like my senior year, so that was.
I don't know that there's a bad Cypress Hill album. I'd have to think and actually probably look at their album covers just to see.
Yeah.
But I listened to
I don't know if
Cypress
there's a bad Avril Lavigne album.
All of them.
Avril Lavigne is not that bad. There's definitely worse shit out there.
Well, no, now that she's played in elevators and grocery stores, I mean, she has catchy tunes. But
Cypress Hill's gonna be on a fucking Tide Pod commercial in 3 years, asshole. Okay, so then you can suck it because that's what happens to all these rappers.
I'll tell you what, though, tag team on the on what
ice cream
one? On the ice cream one with a scoop. There it is. That takes it back for me. So Jake, you've got AFI. The Art of Drowning, right?
Yep.
I can't read my own handwriting. Eminem, the Eminem Show, Atreyu, Suicide Notes. What's the rest of it?
And Butterfly Kisses.
And yeah, of course you would. Good Charlotte, self-titled, and then Silverstein. What was the album?
When Broken is Easily Fixed.
Okay. And we're not going to talk about the other one you brought up. And then, so my top 5, Big Boy and Dre present Outcast, Godsmack Self-Titled, Stained Break the Cycle, Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP, and Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. So with that, boys, that was actually a pretty good list overall.
Yeah.
So I think so.
Yeah.
I would spin that.
I'd listen to all of them. That'd be fine. So, Aaron, thank you for coming on to our podcast. I know that we're a huge fan of your podcast. Tell our listeners where they can find you, how they can get in touch with some of the things that you're doing.
Oh, good Lord. Well, for the simple fact that, kind of like you said, yeah, I'm a little older. I made it easy because, technology big and scary. Just go to ihadtosayitpodcast.com, and there's a website, and it's got links to everything. And I gotta be honest, it's not like much because I did it, and it's I need to update some of the stuff, but it's got links, and there are links to the merch store and all the different podcatchers. Or you can just, whatever you listen to podcasts on, type in "I Had to Say It." You see a little screaming gorilla with a microphone. That's me, and that's the long and the short of it. Thanks for having me on and putting up with all my rambling and babbling, and I appreciate it. I mean, I like your guys' show too, and I do listen every week. So
we appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I am that kind of a dick. If I didn't like your guys' show, I would have been like, yeah, thanks for the invite, but I'm going to have to just take a hard pass because I'm going to come on, I'm going to hurt your feelings, and then I'm going to lose a listener, and I don't want to do that. So, but
now you've been doing your podcast for a little over a year now, correct?
A little over a year.
Okay, and on what days does your episodes drop?
Well, it's guaranteed to drop on Tuesdays. Every once in a while, an extra episode will come out. If I when I have guests on, they tend to run long because I try to keep the episodes between like a half hour and 45 minutes, just so it's an easily consumable amount when it's just me talking. But if somebody else is involved, it usually runs a little longer. So sometimes I'll split it up into 2 episodes, and then that one, if I'm splitting it up, it'll maybe come out like Tuesday and then Friday or Sunday or whatever, depending on when I get around to it.
Okay, cool.
So,
well, where's our socials, B-word?
So you can follow the Bleach Bros podcast by going to our link tree. You can follow us on our socials at Bleach Bros Pod or at Bleach Bros Podcast. We have some new merch that just dropped this week. Jake, you want to talk about one of the shirts?
If you hate the
just
fucking
dropped?
Golden Knights, go buy the FTGK shirt. It's fucking awesome.
And that's available in our merch store. We have some other designs that are available. We'll continue to update those. And with that, Jake, what do you got for me?
Nothing but thanks for all the dirty talk, and come back and get sanitized.